All right, Cowboys Nation, we are back after the bye week. It is week 8, and we got a historic rivalry on our hands. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, here we go. Here's it out for Lamb. He's got it. He's gone. This is history. It's never happened in the history of the NFL.
Well, guys, it is officially Cowboys and 49ers week. It is week 8, Sunday Night Football, prime time, and the Dallas Cowboys are back. They've had a whole bye week and the week following up to this matchup. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm gonna start right off the bat. I ain't even gonna jump. The Cowboys should win this game. The Cowboys should win this game. You've had 2 weeks to prepare for the San Francisco 49ers, who have half their team, which unfortunately, look. I hate injuries more than anything, whether it's to our team or whether it's to the other team. I hate injuries. Injuries suck, man, because I want to beat the 49ers when they're at their best. And obviously, Cowboys have a stronger advantage going into this game because everyone's injured for the 49ers, and we will definitely talk about that. But just, hopes and prayers to every single player that's on that injury for the San Francisco 49ers. And I chuckle a little bit because there's just so many of them. I mean, they're just going through this horrible injury spell right now, and hopefully it's different because you want to see a good team like the 49ers be, obviously I don't want them to win a Super Bowl, but you just hate injuries for the game. So if you're a 49ers fan and if you stumble across this video, look, I'm unbiased and realistic. And, if ever I want to beat the 49ers, if I ever want the Cowboys to beat the 49ers, I want them to be at full health, full strength. And unfortunately, we're just not getting that matchup. But anyways, week 8, Cowboys and 49ers, a historic rivalry that just spans across decades. I mean, your grandpa watched this matchup. Your dad watched this matchup, and now you're watching it. It just spans so many decades. It's phenomenal, this rivalry, and it's something that everyone gets excited for, as they should be. Obviously, they're not within the division, but this rivalry is a rivalry of champions. 49ers, 5-time Super Bowl champs. Cowboys, 5-time Super Bowl champs. So it's a game that goes way back. I mean, we're talking Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach, Steve Young. Just a wild rivalry that has included so many games. And just off the top of my head, one of my favorite games of all time was the Romo rib injury game. Oh my gosh. And Jesse Holley catches it in overtime. One of my favorite games of all time. Obviously, being a Tony Goat Romo channel, we love that game. Romo was built to nails at that point. But here we go. Last time the Cowboys and 49ers played was actually in Santa Clara on Sunday Night Football in a primetime spot. Cowboys and 49ers. Cowboys went into that game 3-2. 49ers were undefeated. And it did not go the way that maybe we wanted it to go. Man, we Cowboys fans were going high into this game. We were riding high because we wanted to win more than anything. And I had warned Cowboys Nation of making it a bigger deal than it was, obviously because the past 2 times the Cowboys had lost to the 49ers in the postseason. This was supposed to be a revenge game, and it was the complete opposite. The Cowboys wet the bed. They laid an egg, and they got beat, and it was awful. But it kind of awoken the Cowboys. It awakened them to greater things, to a little bit of a run that they went on in the middle of the season, and the 49ers just manhandled the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Now, when talking about what I already talked about with the 2 postseason games that happened recently, the 49ers currently are on a 3-game winning streak against the Dallas Cowboys. We don't have to go too far back. What I mentioned, the 42-10 slaughter on Sunday Night Football last year. But then the year before that, we met in the postseason. Cowboys lose in the divisional round to the 49ers, 19-12. Brutal game. I mean, it's a classic. Definitely, it's included in this historic rivalry. That's a classic game between those 2 teams, and just unfortunate. And funny enough, all these games, you can see my reaction to it. You can see all the post-game reactions to it. And then the year before that was a game at AT&T Stadium. Cowboys were a wild card team, and they lost to the 49ers 23-17. So both incredible playoff games. I mean, just everyone got everyone got their value in terms of an entertainment perspective, and again, those two games, you can see my reaction to both of those games. Heartbreakers, man. Heartbreakers. And the comparison that I always go to is like the Cowboys in the 90s, they always beat the 49ers and they always beat the Packers. And I feel like it's the Cowboys' turn now in the 21st century where it's the Packers and it's the 49ers that beat the Cowboys all the time. It's just been the 49ers have had our number. I'm not even going to lie about it. And you guys have crushed our souls. You've had me drink this. The 49ers have made me drink on camera twice. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have this tradition when the Cowboys make the playoffs and they lose in the playoffs, I take a drink and we drink through that entire video. But that's your Cowboys and 49ers matchup. And if we're talking about all time, right, we're talking about this historic rivalry between these two teams. The 49ers currently lead at 2019 and one tie. They played a total of 40 times. 9 of them are postseason games. Just, again, historic rivalry. You're going to hear that all the time. You're going to hear that quite a bit. And last time the Cowboys beat the 49ers, we're talking about Mike McCarthy's first season as a head coach. Cowboys won. CeeDee Lamb had the kickoff return touchdown to seal the game. Tony Pollard had a great touchdown as well. 49ers were nowhere near what they were, what they are right now, or what they were in the past couple of seasons. But kind of hilarious because Mike McCarthy is going to beat the 49ers in his first season as Cowboys head coach and his last season as Cowboys head coach. Last time we won in San Francisco, though, you got to go back to 2017, Dak and Zeke's sophomore year in the NFL. Cowboys, 49ers hadn't won a game yet. I mean, they were terrible. And Zeke, man, 26 carries, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a catch that went for 72 yards and a touchdown. If there was ever a time we needed Zeke to go reach back into the time vault and pull us a vintage performance, it would be really nice to see vintage prime Zeke come out and have us win in San Francisco. But a lot of information, right? A lot of information. And that brings us to today. We got Brock Purdy versus Dak Prescott, Kyle Shanahan versus Mike McCarthy. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, they just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in what was an underwhelming fashion. You know, a lot of struggles there against Kansas City. Granted, you could take it back to injuries, but they're sitting right now at 3-4, under 500. Cowboys, on the other hand, it feels like the sky is falling in Cowboys Nation. It feels like, but at the end of the day, they're 3-3. They're 500. The Cowboys fans make it sound like they're 3-4. And the 49ers are the other way around. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this pregame prediction video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and let's jump into it. First things up, as we pull up the stats, we got the Cowboys defense versus this 49ers offense. 49ers offense it's statistically, in terms of yards, they're gelling well. I mean, Brock Purdy's in the top 5 passing yards, but as we know, as Cowboys fans, if your quarterback is in the top 5 passing yards, it doesn't necessarily, mean that you're a winning football team. And that's the 49ers. I really have to tie it back to injuries because this team is so good. They're so creative. They're so well disciplined, but it's just that their main players haven't been out on the field. And it's unfortunate, really. As a football fan, you hate to see it. And when you jump into the injuries right off the bat, I mean, you're talking about Deebo Samuel Sr. may miss Sunday's game due to him battling pneumonia, which is crazy. I mean, just wild, and hopes and prayers to him. Christian McCaffrey, obviously dealing with his Achilles the entire season. Now, Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the 49ers, already talked about that, said that he would be surprised if Christian McCaffrey made it back for this game. So that's very telling in that they're probably going to push it out to the bye week. Similar to what the Cowboys did with DeRon Bland. He could have played against the Lions, but they chose to sit him one more week, let him ride out the bye week, get that extra week of rest. Same thing. I think that's a smart thing with Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, a very sensitive injury that you don't want to re-aggravate. So to have him take the extra week, because the 49ers have a bye week after this Cowboys game. And on top of that, they lose Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver that they had just newly signed. They had a whole lot of fiasco during the offseason. Tore his ACL in the game against the Chiefs. Again, hopes and prayers to him. Hope he comes back better than ever. But he is out for the entire season. Now, I'm not done yet. You probably thought I was done. Tight end George Kittle, day-to-day right now with a sprained foot. Just, brutal for the 49ers. On the other hand, it does give a glimmer of hope for Cowboys Nation that this game can be winnable. Now, hold up. I've been on the record already that even before I saw this injury report, before I even saw, and even before the bye week, I think in the middle of the Lions game, I tweeted it. I said, as crazy as this may seem, even though the Cowboys are getting smacked by Detroit right now, I do believe this team can still beat the 49ers. It was wild, and I still believed it then, but I still believe it. I still believe the Cowboys will win this game, and they should win this game. And usually, I wait to tell you guys my game prediction till the end of the video, but I'm just going to tell you straight up, the Cowboys will win this game, and they should win this game. Now, on the other side of things, Cowboys are still dealing with injuries, right? We can't even jump into the analysis of the game yet because there's so many injuries. Michael Parsons, is he playing Sunday? Well, to him, it's up in the air. And it's going to be a coach's decision. It's going to be a decision made by the organization, Micah Parsons included. It's going to be a game time decision. I'm going to tell you right now, Micah Parsons isn't going to play. I was expecting it to be a lot more optimistic than what we got from him in that report, in that interview that we heard early in the week. But it sounds like they're going to have him sit, which they're thinking long term, which I'm totally fine with, especially in a game like this where the Cowboys should win it. And where they're technically, when they should be favored, I'm okay sitting Micah Parsons. So I'm not expecting Micah to play Sunday. On the other hand, DaRon Bland, right? Stephen Jones a couple weeks ago said he's ready. If he could play, he could, which is so stupid. Jones is intervening with the coach's decision is just the dumbest thing, but I know. It happens a lot. Anyways, they said DaRon Bland will be a game time decision, which is a little bit of a head scratcher because I thought, he would be able to play, but Stephen Jones lied to us once again. Surprise, surprise. Eric Kendricks should return, and that's a biggie. That's a big thing. I mean, DaRon Bland's going to be big, Michael Parsons is going to be big, but Eric Kendricks is your linebacker. And the defense is the linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. And DeMarvion Overshown, a stud, but still young to the game. We saw his flaws and him be out-coached, out-schemed against the Detroit Lions. But having a veteran in there as your green dot communicator for this defense makes a huge difference. So Eric Kendricks will make a huge difference. But let's go ahead and jump into this game. What should the Cowboys do? Look, the 49ers are out of a lot of weapons, which makes things a little bit easier. Look, I'm going to tell you straight up, this is how the Cowboys should play this. They should play single high safety, cover zero, and they should sell out to stop this run. Because frankly, it's the only way that this 49ers offense is going to get going. Is if Jordan Mason goes out there, runs for 125 yards, it will open things up for this offense and Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan. I don't care who your wide receiver is. I don't care who's playing tight end. It will open things up. Because when you're able to run the ball, you control time of possession, you control the line of scrimmage, and you control offensive play calling at that point. Play action, motion, pre-snap motion, reverses, running the ball. Look, I'm not going to disrespect Brock Purdy here. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's made a name for himself in the league, and dude's going to get paid this offseason. But the primary goal is obviously we know the Cowboys, if the Cowboys defense is ran over and the other team is able to run the ball successfully, it's the end of the game for the Cowboys. So I would be saying this if we were playing the Panthers. Cowboys need to sell out because that's where the 49ers get a lot of their offense from. Sell out, stop the run, don't let Jordan Mason get going because then Brock Purdy can get going. And like I said, I don't want to disrespect Purdy, but I'm just saying, let him beat you. Don't make it easy on him by giving him a run game. Let Brock Purdy beat you. Let him beat you. Don't give him the ability to run the ball, but go ahead and force him to beat you with the not having the amount of weapons that he currently has at the moment. And I think that's a pretty effective game plan. On top of that, there's a lot of other things with pressures and blitzes and all of that kind of stuff. But the main priority is still the main priority for this Cowboys defense. And you've had a whole bye week to get healthy. You've had a whole bye week. You've had 2 weeks to prepare for this team. And you should be, and you're getting a lot of help with the injured 49ers. So to be able to stop the run and have the 49ers offense fall into what you want the Cowboys defense to see, that should be the primary goal. That should be the goal. And you know what? If you stop the run and Brock Purdy throws for 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he makes some miraculous play, look, I can live with that. It's just you can't let the run game beat you again. And if Purdy beats you, he beats you, man. Like, he's earned that. But you cannot let the run game come into existence and dictate the game. That just can't happen week 8 into the football season, because at that point, it's your identity. And right now it is. But bye week has happened. Hopefully we can turn a leaf. Anyways, let's go ahead and go into our defense predictions. I do believe the Cowboys have a lot of success defensively on top of everything that I just mentioned. I think they're going to execute that game plan because it's probably the most obvious game plan on plate for this defense. So I think Bland gets an interception, meaning I think Bland comes back. I really trust our secondary to play well. I like our secondary. I like Diggs. I like Bland. I like Carson in the slot. I love Jordan Lewis as the third option. So I think Bland gets an interception. I do believe this defense allows less than 30 points. Now, it would be a completely different story, yeah, of course. If McCaffrey, Ayuk, Kittle, everyone, Samuel was playing, I get it. But that's just not the case. So Cowboys will allow less than 30 points. On top of that, I do believe this Cowboys defense has a very good day against the rush defense. They had some good games against the Giants, against the Steelers, allowing less than 100s, and it was just completely blown out of proportion and just completely got away from them in Detroit. But now you get to play the 49ers, who don't have that similar, that attack that they usually have. So Cowboys allow less than 100 rushing yards against the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Well, once again, thank you so much for watching and sticking around for this pregame prediction video for another installment of this Cowboys and 49ers rivalry. Cowboys offense and 49ers defense. Here we go. Throw up the stats. Yes, Cowboys defense, Cowboys offense, 23rd in the league, 10th in passing, 32 in rushing. Good God, man. This offense, man, they got a lot of holes. And I really hope they took this bye week to figure things out. And the offense is a mess right now. The offense is just scattered. And it's so disappointing to see because, and I've said this before, but I felt like the defense was going to be the thing that Cowboys Nation looked at and had to be patient with. And I felt like the offense was just going to, find ways to click much easier than the defense. But it's flip-flop. It's the other way around. Like, the defense has been giving us consistent efforts. And again, I mean, I get it. Like, we've been killed by the Ravens, the Saints, and the Lions. But in my opinion, I feel like this offense has been a huge disappointment just because there's so many things. I mean, it's the running game, it's the offensive line, it's the wide receivers, it's the quarterback play, it's the play design, it's the scheme design. There's so many things in this offense that need to be fixed. And honestly, it comes down to the fundamentals. So it's a lot. It is overwhelming. I'm not going to lie. Here's hoping and praying that the bye week actually did something this week. Anyways, let's start here. I know there's a lot, but let's start here. There just needs to be better offensive line play from the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, the game of football begins at the line of scrimmage. For the defense, the defensive line, and for the offense, the offensive line. The offensive line put together probably one of the worst tapes that I've personally seen an offensive line do when they played the Lions in Week 6. It was terrible, and it was so bad, it made future Hall of Famer Zach Martin look like a rookie. Like, it looks like he never seen the football field, and unfortunately, Zach Martin was the worst part of that offensive line in Week 6. So here we go. Offensive line needs to play better. Arrangement needs to be better. And I'm really interested to see which offensive line comes out because I think you can play different options to make this offensive line play better. So here we go. This is what I believe this offensive line should be moving forward. I think you got left tackle Tyler Smith. You move him from the guard to the tackle. You got your best offensive lineman protecting the blind spot of the second highest paid quarterback in NFL history. I got Tyler Smith at left tackle. Left guard, I think TJ Bass has done a phenomenal job. He stepped in against the Giants, and he's just really taken this position and has looked really good. I love his aggressiveness. I love the way he plays the position. I think he should be the starting left guard. Your center, Cooper Beebe. That's an obvious choice. Has played really well. Has been one of the better centers in the National Football League so far this year. Now we get to the right guard. It is still Zach Martin's. He had a terrible game, I know, but it is still his position. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, right tackle, because you can go Terrence Steele. Now, Terrence Steele, in my opinion, is not very good. Unfortunately, blame it on the injury, blame it on whatever you want to. Terrence Steele is not playing well. And it's unfortunately hasn't just been this season, it goes back to last season. So hear me out. I think you put your rookie first round pick, Tyler Guyton, at the right tackle position. He's obviously been struggling with the left tackle position, but you don't want to take him fully out of the game. That's embarrassing. I think Guyton can play, but you have to give him confidence. How do you get confidence? From doing some of the things that you used to do, and that's how you build confidence. Looking back in hindsight, it was a lot to give him that left tackle position. That's a lot. Left tackle is really tough. So let's swing him over to right tackle. Steele is not really good anymore. You play Tyler Guyton, and I think that is your best starting 5 offensive linemen for the Dallas Cowboys. I think if you do that, you might see some consistency in pass protection. Dak may actually have some more success, and we may actually see a little bit of a more consistent run game from any of the running backs that we see for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, in saying that, now we got to move back from the offensive line to the running back. This is what I want to see, and this is what I've said for the past 3 weeks. Look, man, I don't want to get mad, but the Rico Dowdle-Zeke situation for Detroit still really bugs me. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to my post-game reaction video. I talked about Jerry Jones just messing with that whole system. Okay. It is very obvious Rico Dowdle needs to be running back 1. Again, I'm not saying he's the best back in the National Football League, but show me the room right now. Rico has earned that running back 1 spot to be the primary ball handler. Had a great game in Pittsburgh, and then just out of nowhere, Zeke gets most of the handoffs. So Rico's your running back 1. That's going to give you the best chance at establishing a run game. Now, you need to play Dalvin Cook. Look, Zeke, the experiment is over. I like him. Thank you for your time, but enough's enough. Zeke is not what he is anymore. Let's go ahead and move on and try Dalvin Cook. There's literally nothing left to lose. And look, I do my research, and I stumbled upon something that is absolutely hilarious and should be humiliating for the general manager, Jerry Jones. Ezekiel Elliott, so far this year, 38 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown. And that was scored in week 1. Brock Purdy, who plays the quarterback position, has 4 less carries than Ezekiel Elliott, has more yards than Ezekiel Elliott, and has more touchdowns than Ezekiel Elliott. I am so sorry to the Zeke fans out there, but it's over. It's over. I tried to argue and say, hey, put Zeke in pass protection plans and put him in short yardage situations, but it's gone. That boat has sailed. Give me Dalvin Cook. Let's turn the page. We got to get a run game going. We have to at any cost, if that means cutting ties with a franchise player like Ezekiel Elliott, which he isn't anymore, but the Joneses may think different. Regardless, Rico is running back number 1. Give him most of the carries. Zeke, I don't know. Don't use him anymore, but bring Dalvin Cook in to take Zeke's snaps. Deuce is not even on the active game day roster. And then Hunter Lipke is so versatile, man. You can put him anywhere, fullback, put him in there for some running back plays, and then use him out in some passing productions and some passing plays. But other than that, that's the running back situation. I told you there's so much to talk about with this offense. I feel like there's so many things. Now, lastly, Dak. Okay. Dak hasn't played well. And I get it. It is not his fault. It's not all of his fault. But Dak Prescott has not played well. And a lot of it is contributed to the guy who's calling plays for him, which is Mike McCarthy, and the coordinator who's Brian Schottenheimer. It's the poor offensive line play. But when Dak has had moments, he hasn't delivered on them so far this year. He's made a couple of terrible throws, some terrible mistakes in red zone interceptions. And I'm not going to lie, sort of getting on my nerves, but I understand it. I understand that a lot of it is attributed to the poor offensive line play and everything that I just mentioned. But Dak needs to allow the game to come to him. Dak doesn't have to go out there and win the game. This is not that game, in my opinion. Pittsburgh was that game. New York's that game. But I think there are things here that this offense can do that this offense can do that can help Dak, and that the game can come to Dak. I feel like he's forcing it, maybe trying too hard to be the hero, trying too hard to make the throw, trying to put so much into a throw, and we've seen that against Baltimore. We've seen that against New Orleans. I do think that this is a game that you want Dak to get back to course. I don't want Dak. I'm not expecting a 4-touchdown, 5-touchdown game from Dak, but I'm expecting a pretty stat line. 18 for 21, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, just something low maintenance because there's so much emphasis on running the ball. But anyways, again, Mike, you've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and you wanted this. You wanted the smoke. You wanted to take the play calling duties from Kellen Moore. You said, I have a better vision. I have a better idea. You did it last year. Great job. But it needs to start clicking. And if it doesn't, Mike, I mean, I have vouched for Mike. But if you go into San Francisco and lose this game, it's time. It's time to move on. Regardless, offense predictions, I do believe the Cowboys run over 100 rushing yards. I believe they have a fantastic day. And that's a combined. I think everyone runs, and I think everyone has a great day. I feel like we finally get a pulse, a heartbeat. Even though it's against the injured 49ers, I feel like it comes together. I also think a Jake Ferguson touchdown is incoming because the Cowboys I feel like this is a game you can utilize a tight end as well. And like I said, Dak throws under 250, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Again, this is a game for Dak to get back on course, not for him to win the game. I need him to just be a manager in this game because I believe the run game will exist for the Dallas Cowboys. Well, there you have it. My offensive and defensive predictions for the Cowboys and 49ers. And this is an important game. It's an important game. It's a significant game, but I would not lie to you and say that I'm not worried about it. I had the confidence in the Cowboys to win this game at halftime when they were getting killed by the Lions because that's just what the Cowboys do. They have a terrible game, and they somehow find a way to bounce back. And this team is, look, Cowboys Nation, I got to talk to you for a second. You're getting on my nerves a little bit because you're overreacting. And I get it. It's pent-up anger from 28 years of mediocrity, of no playoff success, of no Super Bowl appearances. And it's also, we still are not over the Green Bay loss. Green Bay broke us as a Cowboys Nation and as a franchise. So I get it. But there's a little bit of an overreaction on Cowboys Nation part to this team. Every year is a new year, and it goes week by week. And I strongly urge you and encourage you to take a step back and take that approach with this team. It is a whole new team. It is a new 53-man. It is a brand new season. And right now, I'm hearing a lot from Cowboys Nation. I see videos about who our next head coach should be. I'm seeing videos about draft season. Did I miss the memo? Did I just fall asleep and wake up and it's week 16 now? It's week 8, y'all. And I know you're frustrated. I get it. I just said I got it. I understand you. But look, we're 3-3. That's the funny thing is we're 3-3. Obviously, it's not where we want to be. But if you look at the schedule, if you look at who we lost to and who we beat, if you would have told me that's who we would beat and who we would have lost to by the bye week, I would not be surprised. If you told me that before the season. So what's the difference now that we're in the middle of it? Now we're like, season's over. Let's draft the guy out of Boise State. Let's talk draft season. Who's taking over for Mike? You know what, Cowboys Nation? Take a chill pill. Here's some water. Take a chill pill. It's week 8. Let this team figure it out. And if they do, good. But if they don't, then we can bring the heat. But we're halfway through the season. Let's cheer on our team. Let's see if they can get it together. Regardless, 49ers are injured. Cowboys are coming off a bye week. There is no reason why this team should lose this game. They're 3-0 on the road. They're a road team. So make it 4-0. and bring us to 4-3 when we go to Atlanta on the road again to take on the Falcons. I fully expect the Cowboys to win this game. I thought it during the bye week, and I didn't know about the injuries. But now with the injuries, there's no excuse. The Cowboys should and will win this football game. And look, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate when the Cowboys win because they need this game. They need this game for their season. They need this game for their fan base. They need this game to get something going because it's still early in the season and a lot could happen. But let's beat the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. My final score prediction is I got the Cowboys winning 28-17. Well, thank you so much again for watching, guys. This is another pregame prediction video. Week 8, Dallas Cowboys on the San Francisco 49ers. It's going to be a wild one. It's going to be a fun one. Sunday Night Football, prime time, always a good time slot. But be sure to drop down below your offense, your defense predictions, and, of course, your game prediction. And I will see you guys after the game on Sunday. Now, I'll give you a little bit of heads up. I will not be here. I will not be in the setup. I'm actually going to be in Arizona. I'm going to be cheering on my Phoenix Suns as they open up the season. So I'll be in another house. I will not be in this background, but I will still be there for the post-game reaction video. Background's just going to look a little bit different, but I will definitely see you in a different place Sunday after the game for the post-game reaction video. But see you then. Go Cowboys.
Yeah, here we go. Here's it out for